So we're not trying to change the breath here. We're not trying to do anything. We're just allowing ourselves to settle into this moment and fully arrive into our space. And just take a moment to give your body, give your mind, give yourself gratitude for showing up today to your mat and for making all of those things possible, for moving all of those things out of the way to make it possible for you to be here in service to yourself. And just drop a little bit further into the body. Perhaps take your attention into the body, moving it down, down, into the body. And just start to notice how your body feels in this moment. Perhaps you're holding a muscle somewhere. Perhaps you feel a looseness. Perhaps there's something niggling. Whatever you find, just breathe a few breaths into it. Take your attention there and acknowledge what you notice. And maybe tend to what's coming up. Perhaps there's something that needs your attention inside. Let's take the moment to just give yourself what you need. Acknowledging anything that comes up. Giving gratitude to anything that comes up. And gently start to bring your attention back to the breath. And just notice how the breath is flowing. And perhaps it feels good to lengthen the breath a little bit, deepen it, without pushing or trying to really change. Just allow your breath to naturally deepen. As we prepare to open this space with 3 ohms. Let's take our attention down to the base of the spine and really ground in, sending our roots, sending our anchor down into the earth. Acknowledging this connection with Prithvi Mata, Mother Earth. Let's bring our palms together. And bow down in deep reverence to Prithvi Mata, to our body, to our minds. In deep gratitude to the ancestors of the land, the guides, the teachers, all the beings, plant spirits and animal spirits that work with and through us. The elements, the cardinal directions, and giving thanks to any individual energies that you work with. Let's prepare for our 3 ohms by rubbing our palms together. Igniting this charge, the divine masculine, divine feminine, the sun and the moon currents. Stabilize the palms, thumbs into the sternum, and inhale for 3 ohms. Keeping your eyes closed, return your palms to your knees. Let's take our index finger and our middle finger from our dominant palm and place it in the middle of the forehead. Close our right nostril with our thumb or ring finger and inhale deeply through the left nostril. Close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Close the right, inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Continue at your own pace. Taking the breath all the way down to the base of the spine. In through the left, out through the right. Focusing at the Agya chakra, just behind the fingertips, but further back into the center of the head. Just keep bringing your attention back to this point. As we gently awaken the Kundalini Shakti and work with both hemispheres of the brain, helping to just process, bring the frontal cortex back in line. By inhaling first through the left nostril, we are activating a cooling breath for our system. We always start with a cooling breath. We also ignite the divine feminine aspect of the Kundalini Shakti, the Ida. Working with the moon current also. Just allowing ourselves to gently open up these channels to allow energy to flow up the Kundalini Shakti easily and allow the energies to enter the Sahasrara and move down our system freely. And following the next exhalation, inhale through the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Continue at your own pace. Keep taking your attention back to the Agya, the third eye chakra. Just be mindful of your posture here. Make sure you're not holding or tensing yourself in order to keep your back straight. Just allow the natural curve of the spine to relax. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Chin and crown parallel to the earth. Just visualize a strong, straight spine. The energy flowing up and down the golden current, the Sushumna Nadi, flowing up and down with ease and with grace. Taking deep breaths into the belly, noticing the belly rise and fall. But just being mindful not to facilitate this on a muscular level too much, just to allow your belly to rise and fall according to how much breath is being taken in. And just a couple more rounds. And on the next exhalation, keeping your gaze inwards, return your palm back to your knees. Taking some natural breaths here before we move on into a deeper practice to work with the prefrontal cortex, the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. Let's take our attention to the front of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, and visualize a light at this part of the brain. Allow your breath pattern to be natural. And then take your attention to the left hemisphere of the brain, and again, visualize the light. Visualize this part of the brain lighting up, glowing, however you please. And then take your attention to the right hemisphere of the brain. And visualize a light, a glow at the right hemisphere. Take our attention back to front, visualizing the light, over to the left, and then over to the right. Back to the front. We're going to add a mantra, a bija sound for each of these points. So the front, we're going to silently chant Hrim, Hrim. And take our attention to the left hemisphere, visualizing the light, chanting the bija sound Shrim. Taking the attention to the right hemisphere of the brain, chanting the bija sound, klim. Inhale. Klim. Back to the front. Rim. The bija sound for Durga. And then to the left. Shrim. The bija sound for Lakshmi. And to the right. Klim. The bija sound for Kali. So in your own time, moving back to the front. Then to the left. And then to the right. Hrim, Shrim, and Klim. Invoking the Shakti goddess, the primordial energy that rises from the base of the spine, that emanates through the quantum field. Allow this energy to gently recalibrate the brain, the neural pathways, help you process what you've been going through on an emotional, psychological level, helping you to bring the prefrontal cortex back into alignment, able to sort through all the happenings, the events, the memories, and put all of that in the right place. Front, left, right, Hrim, Shrim, Klim, Durga, Lakshmi, Kali. Visualize this triangle of a light illuminating the brain, illuminating the consciousness, illuminating your energy. Also invoking the goddess, the Kundalini Shakti, to support you at this time to move and distribute energy of the celestial bodies coming in and of the Kundalini Shakti itself. They all ultimately come from the same place. Let's regulate our system with this practice. Regulate. Regulate. front, left, right. Allow your breaths to be steady, full, without taking your attention too much away from this visualization. Front, left, right. Hrim, shrim, klim, Durga, Lakshmi, Kali. Really lengthen and elongate these sounds so that they get in at a fundamental level. Keeping the attention with the visualization, with the primordial sounds. Let them emanate from your heart center. Mantra is heart expansion. Emanate the mantra from your anahata. Allow these mantras, these sounds to give you courage, strength, clarity. Allow this mantra to build trust, compassion, kindness. Just a few more rounds. And slowly start to release the mantra. Keep the visualization. Just release, drop the mantra, allow it to dissolve into the ether. And simply visualize front, left, right, front, left, right. And slowly allow the visualization to dissolve. Come back into center, into stillness, keeping your gaze inwards. Breathe naturally and just allow yourself to integrate this practice. Take 3 deeply self-regulating breaths. Back into center. Bring your palms together at your heart center and let's take this moment here to set an intention, not just for this practice, but for yourself at this time. Keep it simple, keep it specific. And allow this intention to drop into your heart space, the anahata. We breathe in, breathe energy down into the anahata, through the crown, through the sesavara, down into the anahata. And as you exhale, allow this energy to emanate from the anahata, taking with it the energy of your intention so that you may encode your aura, encode your chakras with this energy. Let's open the palms into Kamala Mudra, Lotus Mudra, keeping the sides of the pinkies and the sides of the thumbs together, opening the palms into basket or lotus. And take a moment here to tune into this beautiful lotus, blooming lotus. A transcendental lotus that takes us beyond the physical realm, into the field of knowing, into the field of wisdom, transcended wisdom, from where we can tap into the wisdom and the knowledge of all of those who came before us, of the plants and the trees. And just set a program here to draw in the wisdom and the knowledge that you desire, that you require to fulfill your intention. It's asking your guides, asking the lotus to help you draw in the wisdom and knowledge to fulfill your intention. And keeping your eyes closed, bring the palms back to the knees. And let's start to create some circles with the neck. So very gently, either circling the neck or just bringing the chin down towards the chest. And then bring the chin up to the sky. And then over to the right or left, if that is preferable practice to you, rather than circling the neck. Just do whatever feels right. Just slowly and gently savoring every stretch. Relaxing the shoulders. Really feeling this massage. Bringing the breath into it, inhaling as your chin comes up, exhaling as your chin comes down towards the chest. Slow, deep breaths into the belly. Let's swap directions now. Back to center, keeping your eyes closed, placing your right palm to the right side of the mat. Inhale, lift your left palm up above the crown. And as you exhale, just reach over to the right side, bending the right elbow, feeling the stretch from the hip up towards the arm. Inhaling, lifting, twisting the chest up towards the sky. Exhaling, reaching over. One more inhale, lift. Exhale, beautiful stretch over. Really straighten that arm, a little bit of a curve. Radiate the fingers, feel that stretch from the hips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the left palm down to the earth. Inhale, let's lift the right palm. Exhale, bending the left elbow and bringing the reach over to the left side. Opening at the Anahata towards the sky. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, reaching over. Feeling that stretch from the hip up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, bringing that palm back down to the earth. Let's do a couple of twists here. So bringing, again, keeping your eyes closed as much as you can. Bringing the right palm to the left knee and the left palm behind. Twisting over to the left. over the left shoulder, just meeting yourself where you're at here. Inhaling, lifting at the crown, and exhaling, twisting just another millimeter or another centimeter. Inhale and release. And swapping sides, left palm onto the right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twisting over to the right. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, twisting. Inhale as you release, coming back to the front. Just take a few deep breaths here, in through the nose, out through the nose. Regulate your breath, keep your gaze inwards. Let's bring our palms and elbows bent, palms facing each other at a 90-degree. We're going to bring our elbows, we're going to curve our spine and bring our elbows right down in towards our sacral, bringing our chin towards the chest and the palms towards the hands are in a fist here. We're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to lift the whole torso and the arms up, and we're going to open the arms. So we're going to do a few spinal breaths here. For those of you that want to take it easy, go really slow and just do a few, okay? I'm going to exhale. We're going to bring the palms back together. We're going to bring the elbows down into the sacral, bringing our head, our chin towards the spine as we exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Flexing the spine just a little bit, opening the anahata. Exhale. Exhaling through the mouth, bringing the palms back together, the elbows into the sacral. Inhale through the nose. Open, exhale through the mouth. Nice releasing breath here. Just a few more rounds. We're just integrating the energy that we've been working with. So opening the system, moving that energy around. The contraction, bringing that energy down. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. Just a few more slow rounds. And for those of you that want to maintain a gentle practice, just stay with this. And the rest of you are going to just spend a minute with a more intense version of this varata. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth as before. But we're going to keep the arms wide open as we inhale, and as we exhale, bring the palms towards each other without really bending the elbows so much. And we're going to double speed this practice. So it's more like and take the gaze inwards. Focus at the third eye. Gently flexing and curving the spine to go with this movement. Strong breath in through the nose, so you almost feel the burn of the breath. Keep going, 20 more seconds. So intensify this, bring a greater strength, intensity, and speed to this practice for the last 15 seconds. Inhale, open the palms and hold the breath. Focus at the Agya, focus at the third eye. Hold and build the intensity of the energy at the Anahata. Exhale through the mouth. Bringing the palms open, facing up on the knees, eyes closed, and breathe. Breathe. Relax the shoulders. Tune into your energy here. Just feel your energy body. Feel the openness, the expansion. And feel where there's still niggles, where there's still tightness. And breathe your beautiful breath of healing into those areas. Tune into your intention. Make sure to tune into your intention. Once more. And take a deep breath in through the nose, breathing all the way down to the belly at the top of the inhalation. Hold the breath and pump at the navel whilst holding the breath 7, 11, or 21 times. Exhale fully and hold and pump again at the navel 7 or 11 times or 21 if you are very experienced with this practice. Agnisar. For those of you that are working more gently, I recommend that you either inhale, hold, and pump once, twice, or 3 times, then exhale, hold the breath, and pump either once, twice, or 3 times, or just inhale for 3, hold the breath for 3, and exhale for 4 to 6 counts. So inhale deeply, hold the breath for a few moments, and then exhale, a longer exhale than the inhalation. So you can modify in this practice, choose what feels right for you. For those of you enjoying the full practice, inhale deeply into the belly, hold the breath, pump at the navel 7, 11, or 21 times, focusing at the Agya chakra. Exhale, emptying the lungs fully, hold the breath, and again pump at the navel 11, 7, or 21 times. Really activating our internal fire at the Manipura, allowing our solar plexus, the Manipura, to really ignite our gut brain, to really help us to ignite our intuition, clear out the digestive system, enliven all of that helpful bacteria, breathe life into our core metabolism. Really important at this time. Massaging the liver, massaging the kidneys, the spleen, the pancreas with this beautiful pumping. So keep it gentle if you need, or have it intense if that feels relevant for you. Inhale, hold, and pump. Exhale, hold, and pump. Keeping your attention at the Agya chakra, or having a moving dharana, moving your inner awareness up and down the Sushumna Nadi as you practice. Using this breath kriya to really clear out the channels, the stress, the anxiety, the worry that we hold at the Manipura on a day-to-day basis. Let's just clear that out and allow us to go in and work at a deeper level to clear some of the deeper blockages or barriers or obstacles that we might have. Inhale, hold, and pump. Pumping 7 or 11 or 21 times if you are experienced. Exhale, hold, and pump all through the nostrils. Regulate the breath. Control the breath in and out. Nice, deep, slow breaths. Staying fiercely present to this practice. Keep bringing your attention back to the Agya or back to the breath pattern. Just a couple more rounds. Staying really super present for the last couple of rounds here. On the next exhalation, keeping your gaze inwards, just breathe naturally. Allow these energies to integrate. Relax the arms, the shoulders, the face. Maybe rotate your shoulders a few times. Move, twist your spine a little bit. Bring some movement into your body here. I'm going to have one more seated practice, a very powerful internal energy practice, working with the energy of Kali. Kali's energy really helps us to clear karma, clear the conditioning of the mind very, very strongly. So we're going to work with her mantra, Om Kali Kai Namaha, to invoke her energy, to help us clear and to come into the courage and compassion of our heart. So as we're going to bring a breath and a light, a visualization of a light practice into this practice. So what we do is we inhale through the nose. And then we hold the breath and we activate the Mula Bandha, the root lock. So we squeeze the sexual muscles in and up, and that energy naturally rises up to the spine. And as the energy, rises up the spine up to the third eye. And as the energy reaches the third eye, we silently chant, Om Kali Kai Namaha, visualizing the light moving up and then shining at the third eye. Then we release the mantra, we release the visualization of the light, we release the root lock, and we bring our attention back to the base of the spine. Inhale. Taking the breath down into the belly, and at the top of the inhalation, focusing at the third eye, apply the root lock, squeezing the sexual muscles up, chanting the mantra Om Kali Kai Namaha, as we visualize the light shining at the Agya Chakra, and then release the light, release the mantra, release the breath, release the root lock. Exhaling through the nose, and again down to the base of the spine, inhaling through the nose. Hold, activate the root lock. Om Kali Kai Namaha, shining that light out from the third eye. Exhale, release the mantra, release the root lock, release the attention back down to the base of the spine, and continue in your own time. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So for those of you who want to keep this lighter, you can just eliminate the root lock. So just inhale, chant the mantra, bring it up to the third eye, and then release without holding the breath if you like, or you can hold the breath for a moment, a second, and then release the breath. So just work with this in a way that is comfortable for you. Inhaling, taking the breath up to the Agya, applying the Mula Bandha, chanting Om Kali Kai Namaha, whilst focusing at the Agya with the light, and then release everything back down to the base of the spine. And for those of you that want to really intensify this practice and really call Kali in to help you destroy that, cut away the ego, work with the parts of the mind. For those of you that really want her to help you unblock, loosen up all of that energy at a deeper level, that energy that is at the Swadhisthana, at the root, at the Manipura. Hold that breath, hold the light, hold the intensity, hold the mantra there at the Agya Chakra for a few moments. Really feel that energy behind the mantra build before you release it. Let the light build and build before you release it. stay with the internal practice, stay with this combination of the breath, of the lock, of the mantra. These are the deepest karma clearing, burden busting practices. Subtle, but trust they are working at an incredibly potent level. Just a few more rounds. The next exhalation, keeping your eyes closed, return to your natural breath. And again, tune into your energy here, tune into your body. Just tend to yourself in this moment. Tune into your intention once more. And keeping the eyes closed, before we go into some movement, let's just open our palms and connect our consciousness with the consciousness of the sun, Surya. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. We all have our own personal connection to these celestial bodies. And the sun is our central star. It is our life giver. It is the regulator of our electricity, of our metabolism, of our hormones, of so many processes in the human body. In your own way, connect your consciousness to the consciousness of the sun. So you may want to visualize the sun, or visualize yourself basking in the sun, or whatever it is that feels in alignment, feels comfortable for you. And honor the sun in your own way. Give gratitude and honor the sun. Honor the sun for its life-giving emanations. Honor the sun for the energy and radiation, for all the flares and the coronal mass ejections that rain its energy and helps us at this time to ascend, transcend, evolve. And ask Surya to connect with you at a deeper level. And now, in your own way, command your energy system. Program your energy system to integrate the energy of the sun, of Surya, at a greater level. Use your consciousness to invite the energy of Surya in. Use your command, your intention to open your chakras to integrate the energy of Surya. And Surya is now backed by Scorpio at this time for the next 30 days or so. So ask the energy of Scorpio to hold the sun and to channel its energies also accordingly into your system, to integrate into your system smoothly. And just spend a few moments in meditation with Surya, in meditation with your energy system and this relationship cultivating. And now we will move our attention to Chandra, the moon, the full moon that's approaching. And again, connect your consciousness to the consciousness of Chandra, of the moon, in whatever way feels comfortable or in alignment for you. Visualize Chandra, visualize your connection, or simply just know that Chandra is there, that she is connected to you always. And again, connect your consciousness to Chandra's consciousness and ask her to shine her energy on and through you at a greater depth. And ask your body, ask your chakras, your auric field, your biofield to integrate the energy of Chandra at a greater depth, with more grace, with more ease. Create a program, a command to allow these energies to integrate within you more powerfully, easily, more graceful. Set an intention in this moment to lean into the potential, into the higher values, higher frequencies, higher expressions of both Surya and Chandra. Leaning into the higher potential, the higher expression of Surya and of Chandra. And bring your palms together in deep gratitude for these celestial bodies. And taking our attention to the base of the spine, to our connection with Prithvi Mata, and communing with Prithvi Mata, Mother Earth, and asking her to hold us, to anchor us, to ground you at this time. And set a program for yourself to remain grounded, to remain connected, and to keep remembering your connection and bringing the awareness of your connection to Prithvi Mata back into your awareness all the time. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Remove your cushion. We're going to go into a little bit of movement. So if you can get on all fours. Get onto all fours. We're just going to do a few cat and cows here. So get your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath the hips, spreading the fingers, all the knuckles on the mat. And you can either tuck your toes in for greater stability here, or you can put the backs of your feet. Now, those of you that don't want to go into intense, just enjoy the first part of this practice. So let's just start to circle the hips. So we're not doing any cat and cows to begin with. We're just making circles with the pelvis whilst also physically moving the hips back towards the feet, bringing them round to the right, bringing them towards the hands, and then bringing them round to the left and then back down towards the feet. Like really accentuate these movements and get a beautiful rotation in your hips here. So those of you taking a more subtle practice, you can keep this a little bit smaller, keep the movements more small and subtle. Let's change directions. You can even bring the hips right over, almost towards the hands, really right far forward, and bring the hips right down towards to the feet and right over to the sides to get a really beautiful stretch. Just one more in the other direction. Swap directions again. And then one final time, swap directions. And making those circles smaller and smaller, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. Let's do a few cat and cows. So chin up, flexing the spine, tailbone towards the sky. You inhale, exhale, tucking the chin under towards the hips, really pushing through the palms, creating space between the shoulder blades, chin towards the chest. Inhale, chin up to the sky. Exhale, chin towards the chest. It's just a few rounds of this in your own time. In a few moments, we're going to move into a downward dog, and then we're going to come up into Tadasana. So for those of you that prefer not to do a downward dog, just transition from here gently into a squat and then into a forward fold before coming up into mountain pose. For those of you taking more of an active position, tuck the toes under here, come back to center. And as you exhale, push the hips up into a downward dog. And just pedal the heels here. So pushing through the hands, pushing through the shoulders. Spread the fingers, just pedal the heels, getting a beautiful stretch in the hamstrings. And those of you taking a slower transition, just moving into a squat. So feet, 45-degree angle, flat on the mat, bent knees, facing forward, palms at Namaskar Mudra. Stabilize the downward dog, and everybody together, step both feet to the front of the mat into a forward fold. So those of you in squats, just lifting the hips now into your forward fold, gently resting the chest on the thighs, relaxing the head here, really relaxing the arms fully, taking a few deep breaths here. On the next inhalation, sweeping the palms up above the head into Namaskar Mudra and down to the heart center. Let's open, do some warrior breaths here. So bring the feet out wide, feet at a 45-degree angle. Those of you wanting to take a gentle practice, just do not tense the body. Do this movement very gently, so loosely. Okay, we're going to inhale in 2 parts, exhale in 2 parts. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Bringing the palms, elbows bent, palms facing each other. Inhale in 2 parts as we open in 2 parts. Exhale in 2 parts, opening the palms, pushing the energy towards each other. Exhaling in 2 parts through the mouth. Keeping the knees nice and bent. As we inhale and exhale, we are really tensing the body, activating the core, activating the limbs. So it's a very strong breath. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Activate. Three more. One more. Activate. Inhale, open, receptivity pose, stepping the feet together, opening the palms. Breathe. Keeping the eyes open. You can take a cooling breath if that helps, in through the nose, out through the mouth, or keep the breath active. Regulate yourself in 3 breaths. Slow, steady breaths. Let's bring ourselves to the top of the mat. Now I have a variation for those of you that want to have this as a subtle practice, or that have any injuries in the knees, for example. We're going to take a classic Surya Namaskar where we swoop the palms up, bring them down, go into a forward fold, and then we're going to step back into plank, into downward dog, and then back up to the top of the mat, forward fold and back up to the top of the mat. Now, those of you wanting to take a gentle practice, rather than stepping back into plank, I want you to step back into a low plank with the knees on the ground. So I will guide you through that in the first round, and then you can continue and the rest of us can go into a more intense practice. So let's stand into Tadasana with the feet hip width apart, spreading the toes, swooping the palms up. We inhale, exhale, palms down to the heart center. Inhale, lift the palms. Exhale, forward fold. Chest on the thighs. Inhale into a half lift. So hands on the shins or the knees, back parallel to the earth here. Exhale, forward fold. And we're going to inhale into a plank or a lower plank. So we're going to bring the feet back and immediately lower the knees to the earth and bringing ourselves down to the mat, trying to keep the elbows in all the way down to the mat. Inhale here. We're going to come into Sphinx. So we're going to bring the forearms onto the mat, facing with a gentle back bend, facing forward. The hands just gently resting on the mat here. If this is intense for you, then feel free to move the arms forward. So just keeping the arms, if you can, shoulders under the elbows or over the elbows. Exhale, let's lower the palms, bringing the palms underneath here. So we're going to push up into downward dog. But those of you wanting to take a less intense practice, you can push up and back into a child's pose here. The rest of us can go into a downward dog. Again, pedaling the hips here. Stabilizing for another deep breath in and out. On the next inhalation, going into a forward fold. And for those of you in a child's pose, from here, you can come up and step into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, back parallel to the earth. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stepping back into plank or lower plank for some of you, knees onto the earth. Those of you in plank, lower down to the earth, either all the way down and then into low cobra, so pushing the torso up and opening the heart. Or you can take a chaturanga, lowering halfway down and pushing up into upward dog. So for those of you taking a chaturanga, lowering half and then pushing into an upward dog. Thighs are off of the mat for a more intense pose. Those of you in a low cobra or child's pose, lower down. And let's go into a downward dog. And sorry, those of you will be into a child's pose now. Those of you in a softer practice, enjoy child's pose here. And the next exhalation, stepping forward into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, palms to the heart center. One more round. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into plank or lower plank. Lower down to the mat. Taking an up dog or a low cobra. Pushing back into a downward dog or into your child's pose. Breathing here in through the nose, out through the nose. Bringing your feet back towards the mat now, spreading through the fingers, pushing through the hands. Nice deep breaths. And the next exhalation, stepping forward, forward fold. If you're in child's pose, just gently bringing yourself up into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Opening the palms here into mountain pose. Breathe here. Radiate through your core, feel your feet grounded, spread the toes, radiate the fingertips, chin parallel to the earth. Radiate your true self out and remind yourself that this is how you show up to yourself in your fullness, in your potential, in your presence. Strong, deep presence, smiling with the eyes, smiling with the heart, smiling with the face, the mouth. Open at the anahata. Taking a deep breath in and out and slowly bringing yourself back to your mat. Bringing yourself back to your cushion into Siddhasana. Can you hear me now? Okay, so close your eyes. to work with the mantra or a practice to invoke Ganesh. Ganesh enjoys the fullness and abundance of life, first by removing the obstacles so that he can come into the resonance of his heart, so that he can align with his highest potential, and so that he can emanate this energy from his heart center, which ultimately is attracting and manifesting the abundance. That Shri value comes from here, comes from the Anahata, the courage of the heart. So we're going to work with 27 rounds of Ganesh mantra, which is Haum Gana Ganapataye Namaha. Haum is the Bija sound for Jupiter, whom which Ganesh is linked, is associated with. So it's Haum Ganapataye Namaha. Follow your own breath pattern. Take this mantra inwards if that feels right, or keep it expressed outwards, but pick one and go with it. Okay, so we're going to tune into the energy of Jupiter, the abundance and expansion of Jupiter. And tuning into the abundance and grace and manifestation powers of Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, so that we can come into our full heart resonance and the courage and compassion of our heart. Okay, so let's inhale to begin. Putting the palm, left palm and right palm in Gayana Mudra, so bringing the thumb tip and the index finger to unite, calling in the wisdom of these energies. Inhale to begin. Haum Gana Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Haum Gana
Aum Gana Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Keep yourself open to receive. Connecting to your intention one more time, bringing your palms together at your heart center and deep gratitude to your intention, to your body, to your mind, to all those teachers, masters, all that walked before us, the ancestors, all of the guides, in deep reverence and gratitude to the celestial bodies. Let's seal this practice with Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat, meaning all is one, and that is the truth. Peace. Inhale to begin. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Please take a Shavasana, lie down, integrate the energies, relax for at least 3-4 minutes more to take yourself into a state of relaxation.